So the biggest challenge of why we have a lot of broken families, broken marriage, the challenge why we have a lot of divorce today, and by the way, if you try to make any comparison between the divorce rate in the church and divorce rate in people who are out there, I mean, when I say out there, I'm simply referring to people who doesn't believe in Jesus. So the divorce rate is almost 50 to 50%, right? There is a divorce rate in people who does not believe God, who have no faith, who have no any good foundations about God, who have no fear of God. I can call them Gentiles. I can call people who don't believe in what we believe. All right, we as Christians. So the divorce rate is almost 50 to 50%, and because the reason why we have 50% in the people who doesn't believe and 50% in people who believes is one. There is a common cause of why we have a high divorce rate in Christians and in pagans and people who doesn't believe. All right. The reason is one. The reason why the pagan people divorce and the reason why Christian divorce is one. Simple is one word: misunderstanding. Misunderstanding is the cause of broken marriage, is the cause of divorce rate, rising of divorce rate in many families of Christians, regardless of your position or role in the church. You might be a pastor, you might be an evangelist, you might be a bishop, you might be a church leader, you might be whatever you may be, whatever position you're holding in the church. Divorce rate is very high because of one simple cause, and that is misunderstanding. Women do not understand the love language of men, and men does not understand the love language of women. There are some other things that women, they want from men, and sometimes they indirectly ask them to do it, and men don't understand it because it's not their language. Why? Because we are logical thinkers and they are emotional feelers. So, and a logical thinker have his own mindset about how things works. So do the emotional feeler. They have their own way how they perceive things. Logical thinkers, they have their own way how they judge particular issues in a family. They have their own way how they see things. They have their own way of perception, how they perceive some situations. They have their own way of judgment, and it's quite emotional that whatever they judge, they are judging with their emotions. But men, we are using mathematics. So this is the reason why whenever there is an argument between a woman and a man, it's very difficult for them to reach understanding. Why? Because the misunderstanding is standing between them as a barrier. So they will never get into conclusion like, hey, you know what, babe? This is how it works. There's no any side between them two will say, well, this is how it works, and the other side will say, oh yeah, honey, yeah, it's just that I was trying to look at this situation emotionally instead of looking at it logically. The same goes to the men. There's no man will go like, ooh, baby, you know what? I was looking at this situation logically instead of me looking at it emotionally so that I can understand your language. So this is the biggest problem. This is where all the things happen. This is where divorce rate is increasing. This is where many people, they prefer to live with animals instead of living with men. This is where many people, they prefer to be, to be whatever they want to be in our societies instead of getting married and having their own family. And now, not understanding that your wife is using emotions to make all of her judgments. And that means whatever you say, you should never by any chance expect a logical answer from her, because she's not a logical thinker. She's not a logical person. A woman is an emotional feeler. So you might drop a question which is very logic. Like, okay, honey, so 1 + 1 is equal to what? And she goes like, she started, now she transforming 1 + 1 is equal to what? Now, instead of saying 1 + 1 is equal to 2, she goes like, oh, so honey, you think I'm stupid, right? You think I'm a dumb fool. You think I am this kind of a useless person, useless human being who can't figure out what is 1 + 1 is equal to 2. So you are taking me for a fool. You are taking me because I got F in my mathematical test. Then you think I'm a dumb, stupid person. Look at that. So to her, she didn't know that when you ask 1 + 1, you just needed to hear the answer 2 so that you can continue with whatever example you wanted to share with her. Maybe sometimes you might have an idea in you. Maybe you just wanted her to say 2 so that you can tell her that in biblical perception, when 1 and 1 are combined together, they become 1 and not 2. You know, so sometimes you as a logical thinker, you might have your own thing, your own idea that you want to teach your wife. But to her, everything is emotional. All you needed from her is for her to make a mistake saying 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Then you share with her the idea of the Bible that when one person is joined with another person, they don't become 2 people. They become 1 flesh. You know, so this is how it works. So goes to women. She might drop a question which she wants you to emotionally respond to it. She wants you to feel what she's feeling. So sometimes she will drop a question to you, and instead of you answering that question emotionally, you will answer that questions with figures and numbers and logics and points and facts, and you draw the line like, well, if you do this, then you are a fool. You are supposed to do this thing this way. And because if you do this thing this way, you are going to be like this and that. Now, sometimes when you do all those kind of, you give all those kind of response to her, it freaks her mind out, because what she was expecting you to do, she was expecting you to say, oh, darling, I'm really so sorry. You know, I'm so sorry because, you know, this kind of stuff happens. And when they do, honey, you know, this is how, you know, we should find a way. She wants you to be emotional. She wants you to be like, go down on her knees and go like, oh, darling, oh, petty her. You know, that's the thing how she wants it. So sometimes she might come with her ideas and her feelings, you know. She wants you to look at things the way she looks at them. Not understanding that she is an emotional feeler, she is an emotional human being, and you try to respond to whatever needs she have logically, will cause the fight to rise between the two of you. Now look at this. Because in these families, a father and a mother, they don't understand each other. And so a father would just end up agreeing to something he does not believe in, and the woman will end up agreeing to something she doesn't believe in. And she has no idea why she said yes to that kind of stupid thing. And now, both of them, they will produce children who does not know the difference. Who does not know that mom is an emotional feeler and dad is a logical thinker. So the children will grow up just taking things the way they want. Do you know women, they assume men to play a role of their father? Did you know that? When you marry a woman, do you know that that woman, she wants you to be her father? She wants you to be her daddy. She doesn't want you to be just a husband. She wants you to be her daddy. She wants whenever she do something wrong, she wants you to go hard on her, like, why did you do this? You have to show the father figure. The way you would scream to your children when they do something wrong, they want you to continue doing that to them. Because that's a father will do. They don't want you to raise hands and start beating them up. No, but they want you to play a role of a father in them. Don't sweet talk to them when they do something wrong. They don't want that. You've got to understand, they don't want you to sweet talk to them when they do something wrong. When you do it, they feel like you are a stupid man. They say, I'm married to a very dumb, stupid man. You know, I do stuff, but he doesn't come at me. He doesn't back at me. He doesn't say, why did you? He doesn't scream at me. He doesn't show this kind of stuff. You know, this is how women is mentality, and that's why they will keep provoking you and provoking you and provoke you and provoke you until you get frustrated, because they need something from you. You are not providing it for them. But men, they want women to act like they are their daughter. You have to treat your husband like your own father. That's how we want. We want our wives to treat us like we are daddies, we are father in your life. And if you don't do that, collision will happen. And do you know what? Someone sang a song and say, every time two fools collide. The next video, I will tell you who is the fool and who is an ignorant person. Two fools always collide because you are a fool and she is the fool. That's why you guys always collide. You don't understand each other. When you don't understand each other, you accept that you are being foolish. You have to work on it, brothers and sisters.